We're going to go through the process. I have instructed my players not to comment on this during the course of the week. I want them focused on Arizona. He did not allow the media to come into the locker room and distract his team's preparation.
Bruce Arians, in his third year as the head coach of the Cardinals, the reigning NFL Coach of the Year. You talk to anybody who plays for him, they absolutely love his honesty.
Creates a great environment for the players to have success and treats them like men. Open banter, back and forth, conversations, welcome. And as you pointed out, when you have a problem, an issue, you go talk to them, you're going to get a straight answer. You might not want to hear it, but you're going to get that answer.
Detroit won the toss. They have elected to receive. Chandler Catanzaro will kick off here for the Cardinals. Amir Abdullah is back deep. We're underway here in Detroit, week 5. And Abdullah, he actually stepped on the back line out of bounds, and this will be a touchback. So here comes Matthew Stafford, the #1 overall pick back in 2009. This year, his completion percentage has been very good. The issue, though, has been not many yards to show for all those completions.
Well, it's the way this offense is built. It's the philosophy of the offense, and Detroit Lion fans are getting frustrated with the short passing game, trying to get the big plays on run after catch. We'll see what happens today. Arizona's more aggressive. There could be some opportunities for some bigger plays down the field.
Zach Center starts in the backfield. And on first down, we've got our first flag. A free play here for Detroit. Going deep down the sideline, looking for Calvin Johnson. And there is no flag in the secondary. Patrick Peterson, Rashad Johnson there on the coverage.
Nice job by Matthew Stafford. This is a free play for the offense.
Offside. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
When you have an aggressive defensive front, cadence will be important today. Matthew Stafford gets them on the first play. Now you got a free shot down the field. And this may be an indication of what this game plan could look like this afternoon. Very aggressive play call on the opening play of the game. An almost catch for an explosive play by Calvin Johnson.
First down at 5. Abdullah on the carry. And Abdullah up to the 28-yard line, gets 3. Justin Bethel there with a tackle.
They'll need that offensive line to create some running lanes. The same starting 5 that was together last week, again together this week. And one of the big additions coming back, Brandon Pettigrew. They've talked about the inability to run the football here in Detroit. We watch it on film. Small gains. They're not able to balance their game plan, to balance their attack. Brandon Pettigrew getting back on the outside. Maybe that adds that element for run success.
Here on 2nd and 2. A quick pass incomplete to Golden Tate. So 3rd down and 2 coming up.
Well, a guy that finally got some recognition after the 2014 season, Calais Campbell, one of my favorite guys, really dominates up front, had a great game last week, and he really allows this Arizona defense to have that multiple sense of what they're doing, along with a couple of guys in the back end, Tyrann Mathieu. They've got a lot of unique players in the secondary. They do a lot of different things defensively.
3rd and 2 here for Detroit. Look at the big man, Calais Campbell. He is big. 6'8", 300 pounds. Play clock is down to 3. And now a timeout is burned by Detroit with that play clock winding down. First timeout for the Lions. And Daryl, you had talked about the run game for this Lions team. Virtually non-existent for the first 4 games of the season. And that is a point of emphasis in this one. They ran the ball on first down. They got 3 yards with Abdullah. Now facing 3rd and 2. Obviously, you have options.
Yeah, but you have to commit to it. Some people say, you don't want to get stubborn with the run, but Joe Lombardi has to stay committed to the run. He's got to at least force Arizona to respect the threat of the run, to open up his play-action pass and loosen some of that underneath coverage.
Been a long time since this Lions team has scored a touchdown. On offense, on 3rd and 2, they're passing. Stafford dancing around. Stafford has it picked off. Rashad Johnson. A turnover here, the 6th interception of the season for Stafford. And Rashad Johnson with his 2nd interception of the season. And the boos come out early here at Ford Field.
It's the biggest indicator in success and failure in the NFL, turnovers. Matthew Stafford either needs to try and get this first down on his own, on the scramble right here, or he's got to throw it away. He tries to float one in over the top to Tim Wright, and it's just played very, very well underneath by Rashad Johnson.
Off the turnover, great starting field position here for Arizona at the 43 of Detroit. On first down, the handoff is to Chris Johnson, and Chris Johnson gets hit in the backfield by Josh Wilson, a loss of 1. Carson Palmer returning after another injury last year. His last 16 starts, I think a lot of teams would take a 13-3 record. A different player since coming over from Oakland to Arizona and playing with the Bruiserians. Direct snap to Johnson up the middle. And Johnson back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10 coming up. Gabe right there with the stop.
And this is Arizona Cardinal offense. They've really committed to the offensive line. You've got some big free agent signings there, a #1 draft pick. They know that games are won and lost in the trenches out in the NFC West. And how about the year that Larry Fitzgerald is having? He's got career numbers across the board and has really kind of embraced this new role, playing that inside receiver.
4 wide receivers in here on 3rd and 10. There is a look at Larry Fitzgerald. Play clock is down to 3. Palmer throws up high, incomplete, looking for Fitzgerald. So a good job by this Lions defense, which played a really good game Monday night in Seattle, to force a 3-and-out and no points off the interception.
Well, the Lions were hoping to pick up where they left off in some areas after that devastating loss on Monday night, and a lot of that was on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, this defense played very, very well, put up some big numbers, different areas.
Drew Butler to punts. T.J. Jones, the fair catch, made at the 13. Calvin Johnson. As we first have a flag down here on the field. Our referee, Gene Steratore.
During the kick, holding, return team number 57. Penalties half the distance to the goal. First down, Detroit. Timeout.
Detroit backed up deep in their own territory. You can expect some throws to Calvin Johnson. Megatron, one of the best nicknames of all time. First down here for the Lions, back at their own 7-yard line after the holding penalty. On first down, Amir Abdullah with the carry, and a good run on first down up to the 11-yard line. Tyrann Mathieu comes up to make the tackle. Calvin Johnson, he is tied right now for the franchise record in career receptions with Herman Moore. The next one, he'll stand alone. Second down and 5. The handoff to Golden Tate, and Tate, he's got the first down up the 20. An 8-yard run by Golden Tate. That's one way to improve the running game.
Absolutely. When you're having trouble with the traditional run, a way to manufacture rush yards, the little jet sweep right there to Golden Tate, one of those guys you'd love to be able to get into space. Very well timed up. It's not as easy as it looks. That's good timing with the cadence and the handoff.
Zach Sinner now back as the tailback. On first down, Stafford. The crossing route, there is Calvin Johnson, and there is the record. His 671st career reception, a 10-yard pickup. Actually about a 9-yard pickup. They're going to say second down and 1.
Yeah, but the big thing is you see the height size down the field, but it's really the athleticism Here he comes crossing underneath the formation. You can see his development. He's taking a lot of these shorter routes that are a part of this offense, but the athleticism at the end of that run is Tyrann Mathieu goes low. The big man is able to get up over the top.
Abdullah into the slot. Johnson out wide. On second down, it's Abdullah with the catch and the first down. Dayon Buchanan with the tackle. A pickup of 9.
And this is one of the areas that Joe Lombardi, offensive coordinator for the Lions, has seen improvement. This offense is based on a couple of things. You're going to challenge the defense with personnel and formation to match you in substitution, and then you're going to also add that tempo. You're going to challenge them through the pace of the game. He saw an improvement from last year to this year in tempo.
Abdullah out of the backfield, a guy who's impressed this Lions coaching staff with his receiving skills. Takes the handoff on first down. Able to slither through up to the 42-yard line. Time for a game break. Let's check in back in LA with Mike Hill.
Hey guys, Detroit, of course, winless. Falcons, well, undefeated, and this is how they stayed this way. In overtime against the Skins, Robert Alford picks off Kirk Cousins, and he gone 59 yards for the game-winning score, 25-19. Falcons 5-0 for the first time since 2012.
Falcons obviously off to a great start. Justin Kutcher, Daryl Johnson, Holly Saunders here in Detroit. Second down and 6. Center gets hit in the backfield by Kevin Minter. A tackle for a loss of 2 by Minter.
They have got great players at the second level, linebackers, and you'll have a couple of secondary guys. Dayon Buchanan, you'll see down there, Tyrann Mathieu. They can get into the box, even as secondary players, and get in, find their way, navigate through that offensive line of scrimmage to make some plays in the backfield.
James Betcher, a 37-year-old defensive coordinator. 3rd and 8. Theo Riddick in on this third down for the Lions.
Hey, no!
Stafford steps up. Johnson, first down. Calvin Johnson down to the 42-yard line of Arizona. An 18-yard completion. Rashad Johnson and Tony Jefferson combined to bring him down.
These are good decisions by Matthew Stafford to start off the game on the outside of that bunch formation, just working that underneath again. You look at everybody clearing downfield, a lot of room for Calvin Johnson to run underneath.
Amir Abdullah back in here on first down. Handoff gets away from one defender. Abdullah loses the football as he goes down. Arizona says they've got it, and they do. Josh Morrow recovers the fumble. Second turnover of the quarter for the Lions. An interception by Stafford on their first drive. A fumble here by Abdullah as they were moving the ball well down the field. Jefferson forced the fumble, and it's Arizona's ball when we come back.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
Back here at Ford Field, no score first quarter. A couple of turnovers here for the Lions.
Tony Jefferson, a great play right here. Watch this. He's going to be the guy on the run blitz. He's in the backfield for a tackle for a loss. He misses him, but watch the hustle. Don't sit down, take a knee, feel sorry for yourself. He actually comes back, makes the hit that jars the ball loose.
Josh Morrow able to recover the fumble. And here's the announcement from Gene Steratore. Just kidding, no announcement necessary. 8:01 to go here in this first quarter. The Cardinals on their first possession went 3 and out. Empty backfield here on first down for Carson Palmer. Andre Ellington missed the last 3 games with a knee injury. He's split out wide, and Carson Palmer will be sacked. Jason Jones, a loss of 5.
It's one of the things that they did really well last Monday night in that Seattle game, and they're doing it with just their 4 down linemen, collapsing the pocket, good rush lane integrity, nowhere for Carson Palmer to go. They did the same thing to Russell Wilson, brought some pressure to get some sacks, but those 4 guys up front did a heck of a job.
Second down now at 16. Palmer stepping up, finds Larry Fitzgerald over the middle. Fitzgerald up to the 45. An 11-yard completion to Fitzgerald now makes this 3rd down much more manageable.
It's not an easy adjustment for Larry Fitzgerald. He talked to us yesterday on his entire career playing outside the numbers. When Bruce Arians came here, he wanted to bring him inside, play that slot receiver. It's very, very different running routes from the inside position as opposed to where he was normally doing it from that outside spot.
3rd down and 4. Palmer pressured again, goes down again. This time it's Ziggy Ansah.
Very impressed with the start by this defense right now, having turnovers on both of these plays and having to come out and respond right away in some difficult spots. There's a little twist right there. Ziggy Ansah coming from the outside, looping underneath.
Butler's punts, and the fair catch is made by T.J. Jones at the 28-yard line. A couple of sacks for the defense already for the Lions. And it's still scoreless here in Detroit. Back here in Detroit, Calvin Johnson, drafted number 2 overall in 2007, a team record 672 receptions with his 2 catches here this afternoon.
One of the things when we have a Detroit game, getting down onto the field just to see the size of Calvin Johnson, 6'5", 237 in the game program, and he looks bigger than that on the field. And we've already seen a couple examples working underneath, how athletic and how fluid he is from that size. When I was playing back in the 90s, that was like a defensive end. That was a rush end at 6'5", 240-ish.
And now it's just a wide receiver who runs, a
4-3-ish.
Yeah,
4-4.
no big deal. There was a penalty on the punts. A hold against the Lions backs them up 10 more yards. So they will start at the 18-yard line. But the offense on that last drive was moving the ball until their second turnover, a fumble by Abdullah. Zach Zenner in at tailback. Play action on 1st down. Stafford in trouble. He gets sacked. Frosty Rucker.
Well, you got a lot of guys walked up into this front for the Arizona Cardinals. You've got 8 people, so the offensive line trying to sort that out. 5 big guys down. Are they going to bring pressure? They're going to add one to it.
Hands to the face, defense. Number 21, 5-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
And you're going to get that called on the outside in coverage.
So take away the sack. Patrick Peterson called for that penalty. Take in motion, a handoff to Zenner. And Zenner gets tackled for a loss of 1. Let's check back in with Mike Hill in LA.
Hey guys, Bengals staying unbeaten, coming back from 17 down against the Seahawks to get it done in overtime. Mike Nugent from 42 yards off the upright but through. Bengals win it. They're 5-0 for the first time since 1988. Justin moves back to you.
So let's get this straight. Cincinnati's 5-0. Atlanta's 5-0. Everybody had those 2 teams going that, right?
Absolutely. Congratulations to Dan Quinn, first year down there in Atlanta. Great start.
Play action. Guess who? Calvin Johnson again, and he's got the 1st down. Picks up 13. His 3rd catch of the afternoon.
Well, they've been very efficient at the start offensively. It's just mistakes by Detroit that's stopping them right now. They've had the 2 turnovers. They've had 2 penalties on special teams to back them up for starting field position on the drives. But their execution is nice here at the start of the game.
1st and 10 from the 35. Handoff, Abdullah. The 38 gets 3. 2nd down and 7. Kevin Minter with a tackle.
And they've got to stay committed to this. It's important. It strikes that balance. You know, sometimes you can get frustrated with it. Sometimes those big gains aren't there. There weren't a lot of them in that Seattle game on Monday night, but you stayed committed to it. And Joe Lombardi, the best way I've ever heard, because you hear a lot of people say it's like running into a brick wall. He said, well, sometimes you got to loosen those bricks a little bit. So he could get a little stubborn, but he's going to be committed to it.
Play action. They find the fullback, Burton, out in the backfield, and Burton able to break free from a tackle. And they're going to mark him down just shy of that 1st down marker. Alex Okafor missed the tackle, couldn't bring down the big man.
That's a good play. It's a staple in a lot of offenses. The fullback in the flat breaks the tackle. You see right there, Alex Okafor kind of gets behind him. Michael Burton shrugs him off. That takes a 3-yard gain for a gain of 9.
Now 3rd and short. Stafford, quarterback keeper, gets pushed forward by Burton, so he did a lot on that little series. The catch and the push to get the 1st down. Again, this offense right now, with the exception of those 2 turnovers, looking good, moving the ball against Arizona.
That's what having a good run game allows you to do. It allows you to control the tempo, the flow of the game. You can see that disparity in time of possession. Another free play for Matthew Stafford.
Stafford taking the shot down the middle of the field. And that one is caught. Corey Fuller. All the way down to the 6.
The last couple of weeks, Detroit Lions have played Denver and Seattle. They're very simple.
Defense, number 90. Penalty is declined. The result of the play. 1st down.
They're very simple schemes, very basic schemes. It's very difficult to get down the field. Matthew Stafford knows right now he's got a free shot. We've seen this twice already. Get the defense to jump with cadence and take the shot down the field. They missed the first time. They made that one.
A pickup of 50 yards on the free play. So it's 1st and goal from the 6 for the Lions. Stafford to Riddick, and Riddick pushing. Touchdown! With his 2nd touchdown of the season and a big effort to punch it in.
Coming out of the backfield has created a nice little niche here. 25 right here, over here on the side in the little bunch route. It's going to press outside and then break underneath. Good timing and then tremendous effort right here to finish. All scoring plays are reviewed just to make sure. We'll see if he did break that plane. That's good 2nd effort right there. Tony Jefferson had him kind of short up and stopped short. Theo Riddick kept working.
Still waiting for the confirmation. They've gotten it. A touchdown for Riddick. Matt Prater on for the extra point. The extra point is perfect. On a free play, Matthew Stafford took advantage, 50 yards to Corey Fuller. And then he found Theo Riddick out of the backfield. It's 7-0 Lions over the Cardinals. Well, Theo, here's a reward for making that touchdown catch. Get back out there on special teams and go cover this kickoff. A 6-yard catch by him, that 2nd effort. Got it over the goal line. Sam Martin will kick off with David Johnson, a dangerous return man, back deep for Arizona. Johnson will return it from deep in the end zone. A good return by Johnson up to the 29-yard line. Detroit Lions, they've been dominant so far here in the first quarter, and they lead 7-0. Everybody we spoke to from Detroit talked about that final drive against Seattle. If you take away that turnover, they kind of picked up where they left off, really moving the ball well offensively. Here on first down, it's Chris Johnson with a carry. He breaks one free. Chris Johnson across midfield. A late flag is thrown. Another one is thrown. And he takes it down to the 46 of Detroit. Glover Quinn with a tackle, a 25-yard run for Chris Johnson.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense. Number 32. 15 yards added to the end of the run. First down.
Chris Johnson gets out into the open field. James Ahedebo gets called for the face mask. The break back inside. Coming in, reach.
So all of a sudden, an offense that had -1 yards has a 25-yard run, tack on another 15, and they're down to 31 of Detroit. It's Chris Johnson again. Lowers that shoulder. And Chris Johnson up to the 26, picks up 5. Mathis, Ahedebo combined for the stop. Chris Johnson signed late just prior to training camp, and he's been a good acquisition for these Cardinals.
Now they're getting a lot of production out of a couple older guys. Carson Palmer playing real well. You got Larry Fitzgerald, Chris Johnson, and that's with Andre Ellington healthy and back in the lineup. You know, Chris Johnson has done enough to earn some more reps here in the run game.
Play action, Palmer taking the shot over the middle to his tight end, Darren Fells. And the first down up to the 15.
And that's just tough to defend right there. And that is well executed by the Arizona Cardinals. You have to respect that run game. Chris Johnson just broke off a big one to start this drive. That hard play action sell, ball out, all the defensive eyes go there. It's going to create that separation. You slip that tight end right into the middle of the field.
First and 10 at the 15, a red zone opportunity here for Arizona. Someplace they struggled last week uncharacteristically against St. Louis. It's Chris Johnson again, and Johnson maybe gets a yard. Arizona, the first 3 games this season, they were unbelievable in the red zone.
Better than anyone would have ever expected. 11 out of 12 touchdowns as you go into the red zone. And then last week, again, we talked about that. Things within their control. A couple of turnovers, a drop touchdown catch. So at 1 of 5 last week, really the mistakes all in Arizona's control. So Bruce Arians and his group hoping to get that turned around here this afternoon.
They hope to get it turned around here. Second down and 9 coming up when we come back. The end of the first quarter. Detroit leads 7-0 over Arizona. An impressive first quarter offensively for the Lions, but those 2 turnovers makes it just a 7-0 game. Second down and 9 here for Arizona. Andre Ellington in the backfield. Palmer to the end zone, and that is caught by Darren Fells. Darren Fells with a second catch on the drive, and this time for the touchdown.
Yeah, that was a little bit too easy. Just coming out of the traditional tight end spot. Watch number 85 just gets a free release up the field. He's on top of Stephen Tulloch right away.
The second touchdown of the year for Fells, a 14-yard pass from Carson Palmer. And now Chandler Catanzaro on to try to tie this game up. And that is good.
Saw Carson Palmer at the line of scrimmage kind of change his play. He recognizes the coverage. He knows he's got one-on-one coverage. Look at how he's got to jump out from that spot. walked up in the blitz, and he just never really had an opportunity to get back and get on top. That's a little bit of a height mismatch anyways down here in the red zone. And then you add to that the fact that Stephen Tulloch was walked up into that A-gap.
That's 6'7" Darren Fells against 5'11" Stephen Tulloch. Time for a game break. Let's go back to LA and check in with Mike Hill.
All right, guys, 3 overtime games already today, including the one in Baltimore. Travis Coons from 32 yards out. That's your game winner. Cleveland's first win at Baltimore since 2007, also a 33-30 fight.
Amazing day of football here. Week 5 of the NFL. Carson Palmer. The big play on that drive was that 25-yard run by Chris Johnson, and then 15 more yards tacked on for the personal foul. And they got back to their ways of weeks 1 through 3, converting one in the red zone. Canizero will kick off. Amir Abdullah back deep for the Lions. No return for Abdullah. Matthew Stafford, so far 7 for 9, 109 yards, a touchdown, and that interception on the first possession of the game.
Yeah, I like the resiliency the Lions have shown, and I think they have carried that last drive against Seattle on Monday night into this game. It was very productive, kind of lost in all that discussion, but to put themselves in that position, they come out and they start very poorly here today. Very easy for them to get down on themselves. They're hanging in there.
Play action. Stafford was looking to Abdullah. Now takes the shot for Tate, and that's incomplete, and Tate completely upends Tyrann Mathieu. A dangerous play as Mathieu went flying.
Broken play. Matthew Stafford extends it a little bit. We've seen him take some shots coming out of the slot with the pink shoes, Golden Tate. The whole play gets botched. Now he just decides to go deep. Tyrann Mathieu coming from the inside. He's got to take his eyes off the ball. The fans here wanting some pass interference on that play.
2nd down and 10 instead. A quick pass to Tate. And Tate gets driven out at the 28-yard line. An 8-yard pickup, 3rd and 2. Rashad Johnson, Deon Buchanan combined for the stop.
It used to be the short passing game into the flat was the substitution for running game, and now it's become kind of these little bubble screens as they check Tyrann Mathieu, who had that collision on that big throw down the field. But these little pop screens on the outside, a little bit of an extension to add to that running game mentality.
Theo Riddick in on 3rd down and 2. Stafford, the quick pass to Calvin Johnson. Another first down for Calvin Johnson.
You get one-on-one on the outside. I know you like your matchup there, but you got to be careful because Rashad Johnson, 26, is going to be coming from the inside. You can see him right there, read that route. He was a step away from getting underneath that route. You can see right there the frustration. Trust your instincts, understand what the formations, the plays that come out of those. By down and distance, had an opportunity for a pick 6 right there.
Johnson already with 1 interception on the day. On 1st down, they find Brandon Pettigrew. The tight ends, who's back in action after missing the last 3 weeks. With a hamstring injury, gets 9 yards.
And everybody has talked about Brandon Pettigrew and his blocking at the end of the line, but a great outlet receiver in a lot of these situations where you've got the bootlegs. We're going to hard play action to that side, right into the face of the blitz. So good composure by Matthew Stafford coming out, getting the big man working down the field.
2nd down and 1.
Come on.
Abdullah trying to cut it back. He's going to lose a yard. Deon Buchanan able to chop him down.
I tell you what, he is a very unique player. I mean, everybody talks about Tyrann Mathieu and coming into this and a perfect fit for what they do here. Now they've added Dayon Buchanan. I mean, he's secondary size, but he plays linebacker level. He has a tremendous feel of negotiating his way into the backfield. He hits things full speed. Very disruptive in the run game.
Lions 3 of 4 on third down, facing 3rd and 2 here.
Yeah, for you.
Stafford on the slant to take another first down. Another third down conversion, gets 7. Gerard Powers and Tyrann Mathieu come off the tackle.
Oh, we had the ball control graphic up there earlier, and you know, this is just all part of it. It's part of what offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi wants to do with his game plan. It's kind of the overall game plan of Jim Caldwell too, the head coach. You know, he loves the ground control game, the clock control game. You know, a lot of times you get into things situationally, but they really love to control the entire flow of the game.
Short passes on this drive for the Lions. Stafford, flag is thrown, gets rid of it to Riddick, and Riddick gets wrapped up. Great open field tackle by Kevin Minter. A loss of 5 on the play.
Offense, number 72. Penalty is declined. 2nd down.
The Cardinals and Bruce Arians decline that penalty.
It's going to be your left guard, number 72, working down inside on the spin right there. Got to reach out, pull down Corey Redding.
Laken Tomlinson, the 1st-round pick out of Duke. Caldwell says this kid's going to be really, really good. On 2nd and 15, screen pass is picked off. Corey Redding back the other way, and Redding is tackled by Stafford at the 5. What a play by Corey Redding.
Recognition of the screen. He drifts out, and then an athletic play to make the interception and get the return. Corey Redding's coming all the way from inside a D tackle. Watch him read this entire screen. He sees it right there. He's already outside. That's an athletic play by a big man inside. A good hustle by Matthew Stafford. Make them earn that. This is not a gimme touchdown from the 4-yard line. Very difficult when you get down in there. Yeah, we've talked about how good Arizona was weeks 1 through 3. They struggled last week. 1 for 1 here today, but good hustle by Matthew Stafford. Make them earn these 4 yards for that 6 points.
It's a 30-yard return on the interception by Corey Redding. And now it's 1st and goal from the 4. David Johnson in at tailback for the Cardinals. Johnson on the carry up the middle. Johnson with a touchdown. The Cardinals take advantage of the turnover.
And that was too easy, as well as this Detroit defense has responded to mistakes here today. You wonder how much more they can do. How many times can they go to that emotional well and rally themselves? I mean, we've seen them really kind of stand up and make it difficult on that sudden change situation, but that's a little easier than we've seen so far this afternoon.
The 2nd rushing touchdown of the year for the rookie David Johnson. And now Chandler Catanzaro on for the extra point. (14-7) Arizona taking advantage. The interception, Corey Redding, 6'4", 290. Look at those hands, and look at the motor. And the touchdown by David Johnson. Arizona up by a touchdown.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by DraftKings. Free 1-week fantasy football at DraftKings.com. By McDonald's, now serving all-day breakfast. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Back here in Detroit, 14 points for Arizona in 2 minutes and 59 seconds. David Johnson, a 4-yard touchdown run after the interception by Corey Redding. And now it's Amir Abdullah hoping to do something off this kickoff from Chandler Catanzaro. 3 turnovers already for the Lions. Abdullah from about 9 yards deep. Abdullah makes a couple of cuts. Abdullah, another cut, and he fumbles again. Does Arizona have it? They do. The 4th turnover of the half for the Lions.
It is such a different level in what they teach in the NFL. Amir Abdullah has got to get used to the fact you can't have the ball in the inside arm, number one. His ball security is not good. You can see it loose from behind. So the ball's on the ground, and now the clear recovery. Does he stay in bounds? If he was out of bounds and touches the ball first, that ball is out of bounds. A player that is out of bounds will transfer that. So let's see if Tony Jefferson is out of bounds when he makes this recovery. If he is, that ball is out of bounds.
Stephon Taylor is the one who forced the fumble.
The ruling on the field is that the returner did fumble the football. However, a member of the kicking team touched the ball while he was out of bounds, placing the ball out of bounds. It will be 1st and 10, Detroit.
A huge break right there for the Lions.
Well, this is a huge pivotal point in the game right now. I would expect a challenge from Bruce Arians. It will be tough to overturn. It's hard to see that right now, but he's reaching for the red flag right now as he gets the explanation.
And there it goes. So Bruce Arians now speak with Gene Steratore.
Tony Jefferson, number 22. He slides towards the sideline, but are his knees down?
Arizona's challenging the ruling on the field that the ball was touched by a player out of bounds. Timeout.
We'll take some looks at this. We'll let you know what happens on the backside of this commercial break. 14-7 Arizona. The Cardinals have challenged the ruling on the field. Let's bring in Mike Pereira. Mike, take us through what the officials are looking at right now.
Well, I'll tell you, here's the shot they're looking at because this is the best one. Now, does he touch the ball here, and is he out of bounds before he actually gets possession of it? Looks here like he touches it first and he's not out of bounds, but he's rolling over, possession not gained. It's so tight, and what we have seen so far today is New York staying with the calls on the field pretty consistently. But again, this one, I'll tell you, really tough just from that standpoint of watch the legs here. It's on the hand. The one leg's on the hand momentarily. Ball still rolled around a little bit to me. I think I stay with it because I just can't see that it's totally indisputable to overturn, but very close.
Let's see what Gene Steratore says.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Detroit's ball 1st and 10. Arizona will be charged with their first time out of the half. That is also Arizona's first challenge.
As usual, Mike Pereira is right. And Mike, it's what you were saying. It's so tough to overturn it. No concrete evidence right there.
Yeah, and that's been really consistently administered over the last couple of years with New York having a say in the decision in replay. And I think that's good. It has to be totally indisputable. I think maybe it might have been a recovery, but you couldn't prove it.
Hey, Mike, I got one more for you. What about possession? How about the possession by Marcus Golden coming in? When does transfer of possession from Tony Jefferson, we were trying to figure out if he was out of bounds, when does that all of a sudden go away, and then actually number 44, Marcus Golden, sliding in to establish possession? Does that transfer at any point?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I looked at that too, and the fact that the hand was still on the ball from the player who potentially was out of bounds, you know, doesn't really, it's still a process of recovering the ball. So to me, it really doesn't transfer over until he takes the ball away, because you're going to get a reach here, then you get simultaneous touch, both hands on the ball there. You know, you really almost have a simultaneous possession, and not until it gets clearly into the hands of 44 does it switch.
All right, Mike, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Detroit with a big break. Arizona could not take that timeout after losing the challenge. And the handoff to Zach Zenner. Picks up 2, 2nd down and 8. Gerard Powers with a tackle.
Well, a great break, a great opportunity now for this Detroit Lion offense. I mean, that would have been devastating if that had been ruled a fumble and a recovery by the Cardinals. This is a critical drive right here. I mean, and as well as they've controlled the game, these turnovers are just absolutely crushing the Detroit Lions.
Pressure coming. Stafford gets rid of it, completes the pass to Lance Moore, and that's enough for the first down. Well, you mentioned the turnovers. Now it's really killing Detroit right now because they've been moving the ball. But on 3 of the first 4 possessions, they've turned it over.
Yeah, their 2 longest drives by play have resulted in turnovers. So they're efficient, they're moving the ball, but they're just killing themselves with these turnovers.
Total yards heavily in favor of the Lions. Play action. Stafford throws behind his receiver. Golden Tate incomplete. Gerard Powers was there.
Well, here's why you stay to the run. You can run the play action here. Golden Tate coming from the outside, running the post route, and it's thrown behind. Now, a lot of people are going to see that throw behind. I think that was impacted by Deone Buchanan underneath. I think Matthew Stafford had nowhere to go with that ball except back shoulder to Golden Tate because the throwing lane was closed.
2nd down and 10 here for Detroit. Tate in motion. Hand off to Zenner, up the middle, and Zenner, the rookie free agent after South Dakota State, gets 12, another first down.
Now, how about this guy? I mean, the coaches raved about him. He comes into camp. He's not supposed to make the team. He's from South Dakota State. So what did he do at South Dakota State? Oh, he just ran for 2,000 plus yards 3 seasons in a row. Sometimes it's just a football player. That's the way you describe a guy like Zach Zenner. He's just a football player.
They give it to him again. And this time he gets met at the line by Tony Jefferson. He gets a yard, some pushing and shoving. For Zach Zenner, that rookie free agent, 3 things you need to know about him. Well, he was signed as that undrafted free agent in May. Just what Musa just said. 3 straight seasons of 2,000 plus rushing yards. He joins a short list. Adam Vinatieri, Adam Timmerman, some of the alums who have come on to play in the NFL from South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits on 2nd and 9. Stafford rolling out, and this time he'll throw it away.
A better decision right there. We've seen Matthew Stafford here a couple times in the first half try and force some things in situations like that. That play was blown up from the get-go. Bad releases by the wide receiver combination on the outside. Good playing defensively by the Arizona Cardinals. It's not there. Throw it away. Line up on 3rd down. Let's take another shot.
8:05 to go here in this first half. 14-7 Arizona leading Detroit. Justin Kutcher, Daryl Johnston, Holly Saunders with you from Ford Field. Play clock down to 3. Stafford just gets it off. Pressure coming, and Stafford gets sacked. Justin Bethel coming off the edge. A 12-yard loss on that one, and a late flag is thrown in the secondary. And this one looks like it's going against Arizona.
We had a big hands to the face that negated a sack earlier in the game, called on Patrick Peterson. Looks like we've got another one now. They're huddling up. You can hear that from the audio. He never had a chance to throw the ball.
Prior to the pass, holding defense number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
A crushing penalty against Patrick Peterson for Arizona.
You look at the matchup on the outside. I tell you, not a lot there. But here's the most important thing. Zach Zenner, we talked about his ability as a running back at South Dakota State, but at this level, if you're going to be in on third down, you've got to be a pass blocker. You've got to have better effort than that. That you're matched up against a secondary blitzer. You've got to be stronger, firmer, separate yourself from the quarterback.
That's 2 penalties against Peterson. Both of them have been, as Bill Rafter would say, nickel dimers. Stafford swings it out to center. And center gets shoved out by Dalen Buchanan. A pickup of 7.
He's pretty unique in his abilities. We talked about it, kind of secondary size, linebacker level, tremendous closing speed. And a lot of people talk about, hey, we should just blitz more. Well, you've got to have guys that are good blitzers. And Dale Buchanan is a heck of a blitzer from that secondary level.
2nd down and 3. Center again. Diving forward, very close to that marker. It's been a heavy dose of Zach Zenner on this drive for the Lions. It's going to be 3rd and 1 here for Detroit.
Well, we've got Amir Abdullah. He's put 2 footballs on the ground. One was a fumble, one very fortunate to get that call. So I'm sure that Coach Caldwell sending a message, Coach Lombardi sending a message to Amir Abdullah.
Center on 3rd and 1 has the first down and more. A flag is thrown in the backfield. Center up the 19-yard line. Let's see what this flag is for. A 10-yard run by Zach Zenner.
Matthew Stafford's walking backwards, so looks like it's against Detroit. Much better production from the offensive line, the tight ends, the fullbacks in the running game to start here this afternoon in the first half.
Personal foul. Chop block. Offense, number 15 blocks the player low while he was engaged with an interior lineman. It's a 15-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
That's against Golden Tate. So a big penalty against Arizona, and Patrick Peterson extended this drive, and now this play by Tate negates the first down run by Zach Zenner.
Going to be motioning in from the right side. Probably going to happen right here as you're engaged up top, and then you go down low. Number one, just from a safety issue, for those defensive linemen, when you're engaged with an offensive lineman, you have to stay off their legs.
On 3rd and 16, it's Theo Riddick.
Hey, 20.
Pressure coming. Stafford stepping out down the sideline, incomplete, was looking for Golden Tate. Tyrann Mathieu on the coverage.
And taking a long time to develop, and that pressure almost gets home. It's kind of that thing you have to guard against. Everybody wondering why we're not throwing deep. You've got to be able to hold up in protection as the Cardinals bring pressure. Just not enough time for this route to develop and get down the field. Covered well by Tyrann Mathieu anyways.
Sam Martin on to punt. Patrick Peterson, return man. He lets it go by him. And this will be down inside the 1 by the Lions. Nevin Lawson on special teams. A 43-yard punt by Sam Martin. And a big play as now it's a long field for Arizona, leading by 7.
They're in 1 week fantasy football.
Arizona has the ball from their own 1 with 5:36 to go here in the first half. Leading by 7.
Talk to Jim Caldwell about kind of that first quarter grade system. What do you think about your offense, your defense? And one of the things he really jumped to was the special teams. Like those coverage guys, love the specialists. You can see why right there. That's a heck of a job by Sam Martin. Using a little bit of body English to help that one out. But I tell you what, it's got the defense back into it. James Ahedebo has been out on the field getting this crowd back into it. They needed something to give them a spark.
They're getting loud right now. Chris Johnson in the backfield. Hand off to Johnson, and he gets stuffed right there. 2nd down and 10.
Now remember, this is a defense that's doing this without Haloti Ngata, who's out of the game. He's inactive today with that calf. Tyron Walker, who's just had a heck of a start, had a heck of a game on Monday night, put on IR with that severe lower leg injury. You know, let's give some credit to this interior defensive line of the Detroit Lions. They are low in numbers. They're playing hard again.
2nd and 10. Palmer to pass. Down the sideline, and he has the man, John Brown. A huge completion. All the way down to midfield, a 49-yard pass from Palmer to Brown.
Well, the one thing you know about John Brown, he's got speed. They're on the outside matched up against Darius Slay, and he's got him over the top right there. Look at the throw by Carson Palmer from the middle of the end zone. I mean, you're backed up. Love the aggressive play call coming off your end zone.
1st and 10 at midfield here for the Cardinals. Fitzgerald in motion. Chris Johnson on the carry. And Chris Johnson will pick up 8. Josh Bynes with a tackle.
I mean, that play just took the life out of this building. We'll see how this Lions defense responds and reacts. You've got them backed up, an opportunity to flip the field, and Arizona with a huge play out to midfield on that.
The story here in this first half has been turnovers for the Lions. But now a big play for Arizona. 3 turnovers for the Lions thus far. Hand off, Chris Johnson again. Great cut. Johnson's got the speed. Chris Johnson, he gets chased down by Glover Quinn all the way down at the 2. A 40-yard run by Chris Johnson.
Well, we've talked about Larry Fitzgerald, you know, accepting this new role, working inside on the bunches. That means every once in a while he may have to be a blocker. Who has the critical block on the play? Larry Fitzgerald pins James Ahedebo inside. Chris Johnson makes the guy miss, and it's a big play.
Chris Johnson now at 79 yards rushing on the day. David Johnson back in, already has 1 rushing touchdown on the day. 1st and goal from the 2. It's David Johnson reaching forward, touchdown. 2nd of the day for David Johnson. They went 99 yards. A couple of big plays, a 49-yard pass play to John Brown, and a 40-yard run by Chris Johnson. And this place is silent. Catanzaro on for the extra point. 21-7, Arizona leading. This team has big play potential. A couple of big plays on the drive, and Arizona leads by 14. 2 plays of 40-plus yards out of 5 on the drive for Arizona. 99 yards they went for that touchdown. David Johnson, his 2nd touchdown of the day. And Arizona with 21 unanswered now leads 21-7. Chandler Catanzaro will kick off once again, and now TJ Jones is the deep man. Amir Abdullah, after a couple of fumbles, we didn't see him as a running back on that last drive, and now he's gone from the return man as well. And taking a knee is TJ Jones. Justin Kutcher alongside Daryl Johnston, and Moose looking at what has happened for this Lions team. We talked about coming off the loss last week or Monday night. 7-0. Now they've given up 21 unanswered.
Well, I don't think this has anything to do with the loss against Seattle. This is just a team out there that's not executing. I mean, the number one thing in the NFL, and this is why Amir Abdullah is on the sideline, is taking care of the football. You can't have these turnovers. Every time there's an opportunity for them to regain the momentum, they get that call back on the fumbled kickoff, maintain possession. Special teams gives them the ball at the 1-yard line. 5 plays later, boom, another touchdown.
Stafford pressure, just throws this one into the ground. Zach Zenner was the intended receiver. Calais Campbell was the one applying the pressure.
Coming from the inside. Sometimes you'll see him at defensive end. Now he's kicked down to defensive tackle. I tell you what, he is a force. Really happy to see him get the recognition league-wide and nationally with that performance last year.
A guy with 44 career sacks. And movement up front.
Even what was working early on is not working.
Offense number 63, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That's Manny Ramirez getting the start at right guard, moving over from left guard.
The Detroit Lions actually able to get the Cardinals to jump, take a couple of shots downfield using that cadence. Now that's not even working for him anymore.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go here in this first half. Stafford, low throw was pressure, looking for Theo Riddick.
Trying to deliver this. He's got Marcus Golden right in his face. Going to take a big hit. Number 44 coming off the edge. Going to run all the way around that loop.
The player down is Frosty Rucker for Arizona. The 10th-year player out of USC. Good to see him run off. 3rd and 15, though, coming up here for Detroit. Ed Stinson comes in for Frosty Rucker. Detroit's been good on 3rd downs today, but 3rd and 15 from your own 15, that's tough, especially with the pressure coming from Arizona.
Patrick Peterson continuing to follow Calvin Johnson.
Stafford able to find Tate, who fumbles the ball into the hands of Rashad Johnson. Another turnover for this Lions team. That's the 4th of this first half.
Now you're trying to do this because it's a safe play. You got 3rd and long. Maybe you get it to Golden Tate. He's going to motion in. Maybe you can catch somebody in this little bubble screen and get enough for that 1st down. Tony Jefferson again, boy, he's been around the football all afternoon. I mean, it looks like it's tucked away okay.
That's the 2nd forced fumble of the day for Tony Jefferson. Rashad Johnson with the recovery. He's also got an interception. And now for Detroit, you got to step up and hold Arizona to just 3. Can't give up another touchdown. Play action. Palmer for Fitzgerald. That's knocked away nicely by Darius Slay. Slay was the cornerback who was beaten on that play down the sideline by John Brown the last drive.
Larry Fitzgerald working back out in familiar territory outside the numbers. Good trail coverage by Darius Slay, allowing that hand check on the outside. Good to see Larry Fitzgerald get down because he's going to take a big hit from Glover Quinn.
Second down and 10. At the 22 of Detroit, Andre Ellington in as tailback. Palmer with a quick pass to John Brown. And Brown with that speed trying to get around the edge. Gets knocked out at the 19 by Darius Clay. 3rd down coming up.
We saw Larry Johnson with a nice block on the long run by Chris Johnson. Here it is, that little smoke screen to the outside. You're going to have the blitz come off the edges. Go down and get that block. Got to stay up a little bit higher on that one, Larry. Through the thigh. Go through the thigh, not down low.
A big play right here. 3rd and 7. The Lions defense step up. This team needs a pick-me-up right now. Palmer, the pump fake. Over the middle. Touchdown, John Brown. On 3rd and 7. An 18-yard touchdown pass from Palmer to John Brown.
Now we're going to get a celebration penalty. He went to the ground on it. The officials were watching. It's a point of emphasis this week. Had a couple of them last week in games. John Brown right here.
After the touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 12 and number 13, excessive celebration. 15-yard penalty would be assessed on the kickoff. We will now try the point after touchdown.
He's just too good of a dancer.
I could have flagged him for the dance, too.
More points off turnovers for the Cardinals. Cardinals for the extra point. 28 unanswered by Arizona. And the story today has been the turnovers for the Lions.
It's the #1 rule. You can't beat yourself, and that's what the Lions have been doing the entire first half here. Matthew Stafford trying to flow one over the top to Tim Wright. Ill-advised throw there. Amir Abdullah has put a couple on the ground. Once there in the running game, another one on a kickoff return. That's a heck of a play by Corey Redding. You know, a little bit of poor execution in the screen element, but that's a pretty nice play. And then the last one, Golden Tate has it secured, but Tony Jefferson just kind of attacks the football on the tackle. And he's been around the football all afternoon. Tony Jefferson recovering, causing fumbles. And I don't know if it's something that Jim Betcher saw on film. You know, a lot of these guys, they break it down. All right, who's not real good with ball security? Who's carrying it loose? Where is it off the body? How's the quarterback in the pocket? Does he have two hands as he progresses and steps up, or is he one of those low one-handed guys? You know, I've seen a lot of good fundamentals today, and it's just, you know, I think you have to credit Arizona. They're just attacking the football. Amir Abdullah is the one guy who's been a little bit loose, had it on the inside arm on that kickoff return. But this Cardinal defense is very aggressive going after the football today here in the first half.
28-7, Arizona leading. TJ Jones, the deep man. Catanzaro with yet another kickoff, this time backed up though at the 20 after the unsportsmanlike. Jones from the 10. Jones still on his feet. Finds a seam, a flag is thrown. Jones down the sideline, gets shoved down at the 27. But there is yet another flag. Gerard Powers finally shoved TJ Jones out.
During the return, holding, return team number 85, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down Detroit, and this is the 2-minute warning.
The 2-minute warning here in Detroit. Turnovers have been the story. Arizona, a comfortable 28-7 lead. Get apps, videos, and more at itunes.com/NFL. 1:56 to go here in this first half at Ford Field, and let's go back to the holds on that kickoff return.
It's not on 85, it's on 95. Brandon Copeland, so Eric Ebron is inactive today, so I know a lot of Detroit fans were like, what? What kind of call is that? You don't even have a guy on the field wearing 85.
On first down, Stafford gets it out to Riddick, who falls, gets to the 25, picks up 5. And let's see if the Lions can get some points on the board here before this half comes to a close. Stafford finds Riddick again in the backfield. Nice cut by Riddick. Dodge forward up to the 45, picks up 20. Tony Jefferson with the tackle. Hands it off to Riddick again, and Riddick gets tackled nicely by Dayon Buchanan. A good open field tackle there by Buchanan at the line.
Keeps that clock running.
The Lions do have 2 timeouts remaining. Stafford to Riddick, and Riddick again gets tackled by Buchanan, this time for a loss. A timeout here. The ALDS returns to FS1 tonight with Game 3 between the Blue Jays and the Rangers, as Toronto faces a must-win to stay alive in the series. The Rangers, they head home, a chance to complete the sweep. Frank Thomas, Pete Rose, they'll be on the pregame show. Don't miss the action only on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Kenny Albert will have the call with Tom Verducci, Harold Reynolds, Ken Rosenthal.
Is that where Kenny's at?
Yeah, I was going to say thank you.
Holy smokes, he just didn't show up for work this morning.
He also shrunk. 3rd and 11. Stafford, a low throw, incomplete to Golden Tate.
It looked like they had an opportunity for something promising there, maybe to grab some points, have some type of positive momentum going in at halftime, and the drive just stalled. I think inside 2 minutes is reviewed. That'll be interesting. That ball didn't move. Did he get his hand underneath it? Looks like they're just going to keep it rolling. Would have been short of the first down anyways.
Sam Martin on to punts. Patrick Peterson back deep. Peterson runs out of bounds. 28-7. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee on what's coming up at the half.
All right, thanks, Justin. Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll take you through the highlights of 3 overtime thrillers. Andy Dalton and the Bengals stay perfect. Same for Matt Ryan and the Falcons. And Jay Cutler leads a comeback in KC. We'll get you all caught up on everything at the half.
That's coming up momentarily as it's 28-7, 39 seconds to go here in this first half. Arizona up on top of Detroit. The Cardinals, all their points coming here in the second quarter. Most since 1949. Carson Palmer will take a knee. The 4 turnovers for Detroit, as Carson Palmer and the Cardinals will just head back into the locker room. 28 unanswered, taking advantage of the turnovers by the Lions. They have completely changed the momentum here at Ford Field as they lead by 21 points at the half. Let's get you out to LA. Kurt and the guys will talk about what he just told us they'll talk about. 28-7 here from Detroit at the half. Nissan. The Lions jumped on the board early, went up 7-0, but 28 unanswered by the Cardinals off of some turnovers, a couple of quick scoring drives. And that was today's excitement, brought to you by Nissan. 28-7 as we get set to start the third quarter. A look at the first half stats. And Moose, what do you think?
Running the ball a little bit better, doesn't matter. Not bad in the passing game. Total yards, you got 40 more. Doubled them up in time of possession, but guess what? None of that matters because you just can't keep possession of the football. So I worry right now about Detroit after last week coming out and having played the way they have in the first half. How much do they have left inside emotionally? Where is that tank at right now? And they've been asked to be resilient here in the first half, resilient during the course of the week. How much more can they take? How many more times can you reach down and dig deep? Because, that's what the coaches are asking them to do. It's going to be interesting to see how they come out here in the second half.
0-4 right now, and you look at the games, and they've had some close ones. Everyone said, well, they could be 2-2, but now you're facing potentially 0-5.
Yeah, and we talked about this. You can rally around 0-4. It's still not too late. San Diego Chargers made it to the playoffs at 0-4. Nobody's done it at 0-5. So this is kind of different right now. And, I know it's been a tough week keeping their focus. You mentioned the fact they played Denver very tough. They played Seattle really well out in a very, very difficult environment. Executed well, took care of Matthew Stafford. They were +2 in the turnover ratio at that game. I just don't know what happened in the first half. You know, they say turnovers come in bunches. I've never believed that, but that's the only thing you can really say in that first half. I mean, you look at it, there was a couple instances where they could have been better with ball security, but really, you know, Golden Tate, that just happens. You know, the great play by Corey Redding, you know, congratulations, that's a heck of a job, but holy cow, 4 1/2.
Sam Martin to kick off to open up this third quarter. David Johnson, the return man. And Johnson will take a knee. And let's check in with a third member of our team, Holly Saunders.
Guys, just had a chance to talk to Coach Jim Caldwell on his way into the locker room at halftime. And we talked about the 21-point deficit. He said, Holly, I'm surprised it's not 40-7 right now. He was obviously a little bit disgusted with his team. He said, you could not make this many turnovers or even close if you expect to compete or even win a ball game. And conversely, for the Cardinals, Coach Arians said, watch us as we come out these first 5 minutes. We want to control the tempo because they expect Detroit to go no huddle on offense. So take a look at that as well as Lions linebacker DeAndre Levy. He's questionable right now with a hip injury. All things to keep your eye on.
So bad news gets worse here for the Lions. The pressure up the middle. Right away was Stephen Tulloch. Second down and 10.
You've got to change your mentality. You've got to be more aggressive. You heard Holly talk about up-tempo on offense. Stephen Tulloch just going to shoot the gap between the guard and center right there. Not an opportunity for Andre Ellington to get across to make the block.
Of course, DeAndre Levy, this was his first game back after missing the first 4 with a hip injury. The crowd was electric when he came out, was introduced as a starter, and now he's questionable. The handoff to Ellington, and hit by Josh Bynes, the replacement for DeAndre Levy. And the coaching staff said, hey, look, Bynes played really well when Levy was out. They need him to play well now.
He did. He really kind of pops on film, and even DeAndre Levy told us that. You know, he's going to get some snaps. I need to be eased back into this. You know, I'm sure he probably knew inside he's not 100%. How is he going to be, you know, football shape-wise? So, yeah, he was going to get his opportunities here again, even with DeAndre Levy in the lineup.
Third down and 11 after that tackle for a loss by Bynes. Movement up front. Flags are thrown.
False start. Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Doesn't take a whole lot. Just takes a little bit of movement. You've got everybody pressing there. 61 just leaning in. Starts to lose his balance. He's trying to hold on. Big Jonathan Cooper had that weight going backwards and couldn't stop it.
So now 3rd and 16 here for Arizona. And if you think back to that first quarter, Arizona did nothing offensively. The defense for Detroit was great, even after a couple turnovers. Now 3rd and 16, Palmer completes the pass to Michael Floyd, and Floyd, let's see where they mark him down.
That is a very generous spot.
Just shy.
They're pulling it back a little bit now. They had it right at the 30. We'll take a look at it and see if it's just, from our perspective, there's the yellow line. It's unofficial. The ball carried beyond that. So he brings that back where he's first contacted was the 29. Where they have it marked now, had it closer to the 30 initially.
So the punt unit comes on. Drew Butler will punt. T.J. Jones standing at his own 29. Jones got hit right away by Britton Golden. Matthew Stafford and the Lions offense will try to put some points on the board, get some momentum early here in the third quarter.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide, only with Southwest. By Burger King, kick off fall with a new Oreo Pumpkin Spike Shake. By Corona, who invites you to find your beach. And by the Lincoln Motor Company and the entirely new Lincoln MKX.
A beautiful look at Comerica Park and Ford Field here in Detroit. 28-7, Cardinals on top of the Lions. Stafford under center. Play action on first down. Stafford rolling out. Stafford will now slide as he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, it was one of the shots that you have dialed up in your game plan, and it's a hard play action sell to the left. They're going to move the pocket to try and give Calvin Johnson time to get all the way down the field, but it's a good job by the Arizona secondary covering every receiver that was out on that route.
And let's keep an eye on the pace for the Lions. As Holly told us, will they go hurry up? Second down and 10. Play action again. Stafford with time comes near side and finds Golden Tate. And Tate looks like he has enough for that first down.
And not so much hurry up, Justin, as it is a sense of urgency. It's getting to the point right now with possessions. You know, when you're down 3 touchdowns against an offense, we've seen how explosive they are. They move 99 yards in 5 plays. You know, you've got to give yourself the opportunity to have multiple possessions to get back in this game. So there needs to be a sense of urgency starting here the entire second half.
Hand off center. And center, a nice job planting that left foot, cutting up, gets 7 yards. Calais Campbell with the tackle.
He's making the most of his opportunities in the run game. Try to get that flow of the defense. When you've got a defense that pursues to the point of the tackle quickly, you try to use anything that has misdirection in to get better blocking angles up front.
Second down and 3. Center again. Center will pick up a yard. Dayon Buchanan comes up, makes that tackle. Zach Center, free agent rookie out of South Dakota State.
Well, the thing he's doing right now is he is ensuring that ball security is the #1 priority. Not great numbers, not huge numbers right there, but he's not turning the football over. It allows Joe Lombardi to keep his offense out there, try to get some type of rhythm here, get some points, get back in this game.
3rd and 3. Stafford, the ball deflected. A flag is thrown. It was tipped by Kevin Minter.
That's just making a play by Kevin Minter. You have an opportunity to rush the passer and you're coming in. You elevate. Sometimes you get a tip ball. Sometimes the ball just runs into you.
You have to be smart and use your head in sometimes.
Boom, boom. I tell you, they've got a lot of guys in this front. Dayon, Buchanan, Kevin Minter.
Offensive pass interference. A contact with the receiver happened within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. It's an incomplete pass. 4th down.
You cannot make contact beyond 1 yard past the line of scrimmage on these little quick screens. So here's your 1 yard. And it's a little bit of a rub by Lance Moore. We see that route. It's quite common in the NFL nowadays.
Well, 4th and 3, trailing by 21, and the Lions are going for it.
I like this play call. We just talked about possessions and trying to get back into a game against an offense that we've seen how explosive it is. They really kind of have to go for it right here. They can't give up this possession.
Theo Riddick splits out. They have to get to the 42. Stafford taking a shot, and that's picked up by Peterson. Was looking for Johnson. Peterson down the sideline. And Patrick Peterson returns it back to the 32 of Detroit. The 5th turnover, the 3rd interception of the day for Stafford.
Well, you would think that 2 guys that have played this long together would have better chemistry. I know it's only their 2nd year in this system, but this is just a back shoulder fade. These are wide receiver rules. If you get on top, if Patrick Peterson is on top, then you run the back shoulder fade. Calvin Johnson continues to carry the route down the field. Matthew Stafford wants him to shut it down and do the back shoulder fade. Patrick Peterson, with eyes on the quarterback, able to recognize that and make the interception.
A 40-yard return on the interception. So it's 1st and 10 at the 32 of Detroit. Chris Johnson takes the handoff. And Johnson will get 4 yards on 1st down. Travis Lewis, Stephen Tulloch combined for the tackle, but we talk about turnovers, taking care of the ball. Now, granted, it was on 4th down, but that's the 5th turnover, and that was a 40-yard return by Peterson. Those are not good percentages.
Got Dan Orlovsky warming up on the sideline. At this point, you know, just the psyche of Matthew Stafford from a mental standpoint, a mental frame of mind, you just get him out of this game.
2nd down and 6. It's Chris Johnson again up the middle. And Chris Johnson, the 1st down up to the 15. Glover Quinn able to grab the ankle. A 13-yard run.
You still got that burst. The great running backs, you know, you talk about patience to the line until they see it. Once they see it, there's that 2nd gear. Boy, Chris Johnson got to that safety level awful quick.
In his 2nd gear, different than many other running backs' 2nd gear.
Yeah, exactly. Even at this stage of his career, he's still got that burst.
Johnson is at 96 yards on the ground today. They give it to him again. And a late flag is thrown.
Tripping. Offense. Number 68. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 1st down.
That's a left tackle, Jared Valdir.
I don't know about that. We had a couple calls today. You look at them, we've had a couple on Patrick Peterson in the secondary that were a little touchy. That one, didn't really see the deliberate one. Sometimes you hear that tripping call, you see the highlight, you're like, holy cow.
Now 1st and 20. Palmer, good job moving around in the pocket, able to find John Brown. Stephen Tulloch was right there.
That's a nice job by Stephen Tulloch. Inside linebacker in coverage against the fastest receiver. There it is. I mean, it's just, it all comes down to that bottom, you know, being able to take care of the football.
Stafford on the year now with 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Andre Ellington in on 2nd and 18 as Arizona goes empty backfield. Play clock at 1. Do they get it off? A flag is thrown.
False start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And Bruce Arians is a perfectionist. I mean, he's going to evaluate this entire game. There's some things that have transpired up into this point to get us where we are, but that doesn't matter to him. Things like that, little things like that, pre-snap penalties. The one thing, you know, they've been getting down on that play clock late quite a bit here this afternoon.
7 penalties on the Cardinals. 2nd down and 23 now. Empty backfield for Palmer. Looking for Fitzgerald, able to make the catch. And Fitzgerald is down inside the 2. What a catch by Larry Fitzgerald.
I tell you what, I don't know how he's going to make this catch. It's in traffic. This is tremendous. You can see he's really starting to get comfortable running these routes inside. It's actually good coverage on the play by Josh Wilson, just right over the top of his head. Larry goes up, takes it away from him, knows he's going to take the hits.
A 26-yard completion, 1st and goal from the 2. David Johnson is in. He's got 2 rushing touchdowns already today. The pass to Fitzgerald. Another touchdown. Larry Fitzgerald with his 6th touchdown of the season.
It was kind of funny talking to him yesterday, too, because he said when he got moved from outside to inside, he wasn't real happy with it. And we said, well, how long did it take the adjustment to kind of really work its way through? He said a year and a half, a little bit longer than we thought. But, this is where we used to see Larry Fitzgerald on the outside there. Did just a great quick move to the inside. But now, being able to run those inside routes, being able to shift to the outside where he played for all those years and put up all those great numbers, Larry told us, he goes, I'm a much better receiver right now than I ever was at any point in my career. I'm so much more complete in my understanding of the entire field and how the plan is in place.
Which is pretty incredible considering he's an 8-time Pro Bowler at wide receiver. A couple of big plays, 26 yards and a 2-yard touchdown to Fitzgerald. It's all Cardinals here in Detroit. Larry Fitzgerald said he's playing the best of his career, his 6th touchdown of the season, the most in the NFL. And yet another scoring drive for this Cardinals team as they lead 35-7. A couple of catches on that possession for Fitzgerald. Carson Palmer, he's playing pretty well. Palmer 10 for 13, 153 and 3 touchdowns. Chandler Catanzaro to kick off to TJ Jones.
Coach Bruce Arians called it his fine wine crew. Carson Palmer, Larry Fitzgerald, Chris Johnson, they've been huge this afternoon.
No chance for Jones to return. Dan Orlovsky has the helmet on. He'll be coming in at quarterback for the Lions when we come back.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. Watch live local games with NFL Mobile only on Verizon.
35-7, Arizona leading Detroit, and Jim Caldwell has made a change at quarterback. Dan Orlovsky, the 10th-year player out of UConn, is now in at quarterback. On first down, the toss to Zenner. And Zenner with a good effort will be knocked out of bounds by Tyrann Mathieu. And there is Matthew Stafford. So, Moose, your thoughts on this move here by Jim Caldwell?
I like the move by Jim Caldwell. It's not their day today. It's not in the plans for the Lions right now. Let's get Matthew Stafford off to the side. I think everybody here in Detroit understands how tough Matthew Stafford is physically. We all go back to that Cleveland game years ago when he finished with that shoulder injury. If you look at the turnovers today, we've got a couple of fumbles by Amir Abdullah. Of the 3 interceptions, I'll put the first one on Matthew Stafford, but the other 2, it's a great play by Corey Redding, and it's a miscommunication between Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford. So where does the responsibility lie there? I'm not sure. Maybe that's the other one, but I do like the decision. Let's get him off, get him to the side, and get him out of this game. This game is not going in our way. Let's protect him mentally at this point and make sure that nothing else bad happens.
Yeah. 3rd and 1 here for the Lions. We were talking during the break. It's kind of like in hockey with a goalie who's just not having the best day, or just get him out. Not a big move, just let him refresh mentally.
Ready? Hey, come on!
Play action. Orlovsky over the middle. Calvin Johnson across midfield for the first down. Peterson brings him down on a 23-yard pickup.
Aggressive play call, 3rd and short. There's Calvin Johnson on the outside, a little bit of play action. The whole middle of the field is open, easy route. Patrick Peterson playing outside leverage.
Into Arizona territory. Orlovsky incomplete. Looking for Golden Tate. And let's go back to LA and check in with Kurt Menefee.
Well, the New England Patriots trying to stay unbeaten on the season. Dion Lewis, what a find he has been. Nice grab and a couple of good moves. That's how you celebrate a brand new contract. He got one this year. New England up 20-3 at Dallas, trying to go to 4-0. Remember, they had the bye last week, Justin.
All right, thanks so much, Kurt. Justin Kutcher alongside Daryl Johnston, Holly Saunders, Mike Pereira. Arizona leading 35-7. Dan Orlovsky is in at quarterback. Matthew Stafford getting the rest of the day off. Orlovsky out to Tate. And Tate gets thrown out by Tyrann Mathieu. This season, stream live local Sunday afternoon games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. 3rd and 6 coming up here for the Lions.
Double.
Flag is thrown. False start against Detroit.
False start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
As one of the adjustments when you switch quarterbacks, the rhythm at the line of scrimmage, the cadence, the inflection, a lot of those little subtleties that all these offensive linemen inside, especially inside that formation, are used to from Matthew Stafford. They probably don't get a lot of snaps with Dan Orlovsky during the practice week.
Now 3rd and 11 for the Lions. Orlovsky steps up, finds Golden Tate, another 3rd down conversion. To the 27. Rashad Johnson with a tackle, a 17-yard pickup.
Does a nice job in the pocket. Golden Tate coming from that part in your bunch. He's going to work the middle of the field, get into that soft spot right there. It's a heck of a throw right there by Dan Orlovsky between 2 defenders. I like the way he climbed up in the pocket.
3 minutes to go here in this 3rd quarter. The pass, the tight end, Tim Wright. And Wright out of bounds. Pushed out by Lamar Woodley.
They make a drive down the field right here and get a touchdown. It's, you know, as this thing plays out, everybody's favorite guy on the team when you're talking about a fan base is the backup quarterback. And as this season has moved along and they find themselves at 0-4, the one question you have about this decision is, do you create a controversy with your fan base, and you have to come out on Monday steadfast and say Matthew Stafford is our guy.
Orlovsky throws high. Corey Fuller able to pull it down. And a flag is thrown in the backfield.
Holding. Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty, replay. 2nd down.
They just can't get out of their own way today. Every time they have an opportunity to get some momentum, to make a big play, they shoot themselves in the foot. Riley Leaf sits down inside too far. Marcus Golden goes to break back inside underneath, and this great effort by Corey Fuller is negated.
Really was a fantastic effort in a catch by Fuller, but it goes for naught. So instead of a 1st down, it's 2nd down and 19.
51, ready. 180.
Orlovsky finds Lance Moore, but Moore tackled right away by Gerard Powers.
What I've been impressed with from Arizona's defense is how they rally up and tackle. You know, they can push their safeties and their secondary down the field to protect against that long ball. Sometimes you create that void and you get a lot of open space out there. But I tell you what, James Betcher and his guys, they've really rallied up and made some real sure tackles.
After a loss of 2 on the play, 3rd and 21. Orlovsky, the quick pass, and that was batted at the line by Alex Okafor.
Keep your eyes on the quarterback. You see he's throwing, and it's really just, he's just going to throw his arm up. He has no opportunity to really make a play on this. He's kind of falling down and just, hey, might as well just throw that up. Boy, things have been going us for today.
Surprised it wasn't picked off. Sam Martin on to punt. Patrick Peterson back at his own 8. Fair catch for Peterson. Made at the 13. 56 seconds to go here in this 3rd quarter. 35-7, Arizona on top. Well, Michael Bidwell, the president of the Cardinals, hired Steve Keim, the general manager, a few years ago, and what Steve Keim has been able to do, went out and hired Bruce Arians, and he's gone out and gotten Carson Palmer, and he's kind of resurrected this franchise for the Cardinals and put them on the map as one of the top franchises, especially in the NFC. Andre Ellington on the carry, and Ellington will get a yard.
Not only the NFC, but the NFC West, you know, to get real specific in that division, it's such a competitive division right now. And Bruce Arians said one of the first things we had to do was get serious at the quarterback spot. We went out and got Drew Stanton, then we went and got Carson Palmer. And, you know, how much longer do you leave Carson Palmer in there in this situation? We saw what happened to their season last year when Carson got injured. Opportunities like this, let's get Drew Stanton in there and get him some quality snaps against a good defensive team in this situation. We'll see what happens in the fourth quarter.
2nd down and 9 here for Arizona. The pass out to Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald with a run after the catch gets tackled by Glover Quinn. Looks like he's about a yard shy. And that will be the final play of this third quarter. Patrick Peterson had a pick in the quarter. Carson Palmer and the offense for Arizona's clicking. They lead 35-7 as we go to the fourth. Hugh Stafford and the Lions, they jumped out to a 7-0 lead. A couple of turnovers in that first quarter. Could have been more for Detroit, but then ever since it's been all Arizona. 28 points in that second quarter. They lead 35-7 as we start the fourth. We talked about it as we open this third quarter. DeAndre Levy, who made his return to the lineup for the first time this year, re-aggravated that hip injury. Now 3rd and 1 here with David Johnson in that tailback for Arizona. The handoff is to Johnson. Johnson trying to get low and push forward. And I don't think he got there looking at the spot.
They had good penetration. They forced David Johnson to make a decision in the backfield. That's your goal as a defensive front in those short yardage situations. Get penetration. Don't allow the running back to get downhill.
James Ahedebo with the tackle. And so here comes the punt unit on for Arizona.
And that's what I talked about is Bruce Arians, the head coach, you know, very, very involved in situational football. You convert there. You take time off the clock. We're going to need that. We're going to need to make that type of play down the road against St. Louis, against Seattle, against one of these teams as we get into the playoffs.
Drew Butler, a good high punt, flag thrown. TJ Jones on the return as he gets across the 40, but let's see what this flag is for. 49-yard punt. Tony Jefferson with a special teams tackle. There's a player down for Arizona. Kenny.
During the kick, holding number 26 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down, Detroit. Timeout.
Kenny Demmons is a player who's down for Arizona right now. And here's a penalty against the Lions. Yep, that's a pretty easy one to tell. Together, the NFL and the American Cancer Society encourage everyone to join the fight against breast cancer. Learn more about A Crucial Catch Day on October 13th and find out how you can help make a crucial catch at NFL.com/pink. And this month has special meaning to Larry Fitzgerald of the Arizona Cardinals, who lost his mother Carol in 2003 to breast cancer. And he has pledged that in the month of October, he will donate $10,000 for every touchdown, $1,000 for every reception, and $10,000 for every win. So if you do some quick math, that's $14,000 today so far that he's donating, and it could be $24,000 if they win, and who knows what else happens. On first down, the pass is incomplete to Lance Moore.
That's a tremendous program that the NFL does each month here in October. And back in Dallas, Tony Casillas, an ex-teammate of mine, his wife Tamara, just officially a one-year survivor this year. She's going to head up Team Cowboy for the Susan G. Komen run in Dallas this Saturday, the 17th. So Congratulations to the Casillas. 1 year clean.
That's awesome. 2nd down and 10. Orlovsky, the backup quarterback, is in, completes the pass to Brendan Pettigrew, who slips a tackle, and Pettigrew has the 1st down up to the 31.
Yeah, he's a guy that I think they've got to find a way to get in the offensive plan a little bit more. Obviously, just coming back off the injury, but he's had a couple of nice catches today. They talk about his ability to block at the end of line, but a nice receiver, big guy, big body to try and get down the ground.
Orlovsky to Tate, and Golden Tate able to spin forward 11 yards, another 1st down.
And now you are in that true hurry-up, Justin, because they've added to that lead at 3 touchdowns. We talked about that sense of urgency. Now you have no choice with the limited possessions you're going to get in this quarter. Everything is 2-minute drill style.
Good pass protection. The pass comes near side to Lance Moore. And they're moving the chains here on this drive with the hurry-up offense. A 22-yard completion to Moore. Alex Okafor is down around the 29-yard line of Detroit. Having to be helped off the field. The 3rd-year player out of Texas. Led the team in sacks last year with 8. Has a couple of tackles in this one. 1st and 10 from the 36 of Arizona. Pressure coming, Matthew off the edge. And this is thrown away by Orlovsky.
That'll be the most difficult part for Dan Orlovsky. He's not going to have received a lot of the reps during the course of the week against the blitz. Tyrann Mathieu coming all the way from this side does not see that blitz, so Theo Riddick has to cross formation to try and get to him.
2nd down and 10. Over the middle, once again finds Lance Moore. Another 1st down to the 22.
Good timing down here in the bottom. Pressing up, breaking inside.
Orlovsky, incomplete, was looking for Moore again.
Dan Orlovsky taking that on his responsibility. Lance Moore working back towards the quarterback. He threw it to the outside. And you're going to have some of that. You're going to have some miscommunications in those situations with your backup quarterback.
Second down and 10.
And he's wide.
Orlovsky for Riddick, too high, incomplete.
And again, you get down into this part of the field, everything kind of shifts to the defense. And one of the really impressive things with Coach Betcher and his group is, everything comes down to fundamentals, and you're going to everything by rule. The field shrinks, so you're trying to stretch it vertically. You're trying to dump the ball off short and allow people to run for it. We've seen this afternoon during the course of the game how good Arizona has been at tackling in space.
Play clock is down to 3. Orlovsky, incomplete. Golden Tate, the intended receiver. Gerard Powers there on the coverage. So Matt Prater's going to come on, facing 4th and 10 to try to get 3 points.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with the crowd right here at 35-7. I don't think 35-10 makes a big difference with 11:56 to go. If anything, it's an opportunity to get game reps in the red zone. You're right on the red zone fringe. Some people say 25, some people say 20. So you're in that area. These are valuable snaps, and I don't understand this decision.
A 40-yard field goal attempt for Prater. And it splits the uprights. So they get 3. They need a lot more. It's 35-10 here in the fourth quarter. Arizona leading Detroit.
Today's game is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Get to Subway for the chicken and bacon ranch melt. Subway, eat fresh. By Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. And by DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV.
It is a beautiful fall day outside here in the Motor City. Inside for the Lions, not so much. 35-10, the Cardinals trying to move to 4-1 on the season. The Lions in danger of falling to 0-5. Larry Fitzgerald having some fun down there, and why not? He's got himself his 6th touchdown catch of the season. And now a timeout taken by Arizona.
Well, they had the regular kickoff return group out there. You want to bring it back thinking that they're going to go onside. I was surprised to see them come out and be in a normal kick return situation. So you would expect Detroit to try, but the fact that they kicked the field goal, maybe they're just going to play this thing straight on the way out. They've already made the change with Dan Orlovsky. No sense in giving Arizona the short field. So we talk about game management and things you do in certain situations of the game. Jim Caldwell never wants to be in this one. Down 35-10, just under 12 minutes to go, and how do you play this one out to the final whistle?
Well, now they're getting set for the onside kick. Patrick Peterson is back deep in case Sam Martin does kick deep. And they do kick it deep. Out of the end zone. Arizona will start at the 20. And we're going to see a new quarterback in there for the Cardinals when we come back. Well, just down the street from here at Ford Field, construction is underway for the ambitious District Detroit, led by the Ilitch family, owners of the Tigers and the Red Wings. This project will transform 50 blocks around Ford Field, Comerica Park, and the new Red Wings Arena. They are well on their way to creating a vibrant entertainment district for families and sports fans alike. You can learn more about the project by visiting districtdetroit.com.
One of the things I love, the cities that incorporate their sports stadiums right in the downtown area, that's going to be fantastic to have those 3 facilities all connected with a very, very dynamic construction project.
Well, Drew Stanton, the local boy, is in at quarterback now. On his first pass, he completes it to Larry Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald is going to have a first down. Carson Palmer's day is done. 11 for 14, 161 yards and 3 touchdowns, bringing his touchdown total to 13 on the season. He entered the game with 10. That was second in the league behind only Aaron Rodgers, who had 11. A handoff to Chris Johnson.
I think that element has been as big as anything for the Arizona Cardinals. It is such a challenge from a defensive perspective when you can run and throw the ball effectively. And you saw Carson Palmer's number, how efficient he was, had a couple of big throws down the field. And then to be able to turn it around, and Chris Johnson with the big runs. David Johnson on the goal line just has a natural nose for the goal line. This is a pretty tough offense to have to handle.
For Chris Johnson, his second 100-yard rushing game of the season, also did so against San Francisco. And a timeout taken here by Arizona. Don't forget, we've got baseball coming up on FS1 tonight. The Blue Jays and the Rangers, Game 3. The Blue Jays in a must-win, down 2-0. The probable starters for this Game 3 matchup: Marco Estrada against Martin Perez. You think about what has transpired in this series. The Rangers going on the road, winning the first two in Toronto, making their first postseason appearance since 1993 when they won back-to-back World Series. A hostile environment, winning 2 games, and now going back at home trying to close it out. Ellington, nice job dancing around. Ellington at the 10. Ellington in the end zone for the touchdown. 63 yards. Welcome back, Andre Ellington.
I was just about to give Colin Cowherd a little bit of grief because he picked Andre Ellington on his fantasy team on the show this morning. He hasn't gotten a lot of touches. He seems like a genius now. Boy, there's some fresh legs right there. He just kind of pulls away. Again, just Larry Fitzgerald on the end of the line. Again, get in the way, throw him to the ground, and that was gone right away. Detroit had everybody stacked up tight. Once Andre Ellington broke right there, he had a step on everybody.
That is the 5th play of 20 or more yards today for the Arizona Cardinals. Catanzaro converts the extra point, 42-10. 63 yards for Andre Ellington. All Cardinals here in Detroit.
Game is sponsored by Visa Checkout, the easier way to pay online. Sign up now.
A lot of empty seats here at Ford Field. 42-10, Arizona leading Detroit. And the fans here in Detroit have seen enough. Looking like their team's going to go to 0-5 to start this 2015 NFL season.
That's a tough 1-2 punch. It was in the camera right there. Andre Ellington, Chris Johnson.
TJ Jones from the goal line. Jones, a good return. Gets out to the 33.
Again, we talked about the balance in this offense, and look what this group has done this afternoon. Chris Johnson goes over 100, gets no touchdowns. Andre Ellington, tremendous breakaway speed on the last one. And David Johnson, let me tell you, short yardage goal line is a knack. There's a feel for it. He really has a natural feel around the goal line. That's impressive. You get down there, you can see he's the specialist once they get inside that tight red zone.
Over 110 yards combined for the Cardinals for the 5th straight week. Orlovsky. Riddick makes one move, another move, and able to get the first down. With 10 minutes to go here in Detroit, let's check in with Kurt Menefee in LA.
Well, about the same time left in the game in Dallas, and it has been all New England so far. Julian Edelman wide open. Takes it 59 yards for the score. Tom Brady 2 touchdown passes, 1 running, and they lead the Cowboys 27-6 in the 4th. Justin, DJ?
Orlovsky deep down the sideline, incomplete. Corey Fuller couldn't pull it in as Gerard Powers was on the coverage.
Boy, he had a great catch early in the game, in the middle of the field over the top. Little staggered start there. Now the acceleration comes in. He gets behind him, and it is right there. Opportunity for another big play for Corey Fuller.
Fuller comes from an athletic family. A couple brothers, NFL guys, Vincent, Kyle with the Bears. Play clock down to 3. Matthew come on the blitz. And the passes, well, that one doesn't get any money donated by Larry Fitzgerald. That's incomplete, but Fitzgerald showing off the hands on the sideline.
Well, Arizona continuing to play the way they started this game. Look at Tyrann Mathieu find his way through there, beating the tackle inside. Just helping out the staff. Don't want anybody to get hurt over there. One of the classier guys you'll meet in the NFL.
Absolutely. 3rd down and 10 here for Detroit. Orlovsky over the middle, and this is picked off. sent to Rashad Johnson, his second interception of the day. He also has a fumble recovery. It just looked like that one got away from Orlovsky.
Oh, he's got the in route coming, and he's behind the receiver on the throw. I think it's going to be T.J. Jones on the in route. It's actually just sails it a little bit. Yeah, you're right. More over the top than behind.
So Arizona takes over after the 6th turnover of the day for the Lions. And Drew Stanton, the handoff to Stephon Taylor.
And remember, we talked about the interior of this Detroit defense. You know, there is no Haloti Ngata, there is no Tyron Walker. You're thin in numbers right there. It's been a long afternoon, and right now, you know, Arizona is trying to just get in that 4-minute scenario and kind of run this clock out, but they're just dominating the line of scrimmage. These runs are turning into big chunks.
How many home balls you got?
Let me ask this question, though, because here's Arizona 3-1, looking like they're going to go to 4-1. And their wins are over New Orleans, Chicago, San Francisco, Arizona. Do we know who this team is?
No, we really don't. Not yet. I mean, the one top-tier team, you know, a division rival, you know, at home, St. Louis comes in and kind of beats them. So I think the jury is still out, but they're winning in impressive fashion. So I don't discount any victory in the NFL. It's hard to win a game on a Sunday afternoon here. So, you know, you can look at who the opponent was and come up with all these different things. Arizona has handled their business. The one thing that bothers them, they played poorly last week.
Right.
That opens the door for people to question, but this is a very, very good football team in all 3 phases.
2nd down and 11 for the Cardinals. Drew Stanton down the sideline for Floyd, and that is incomplete. 3rd and 11 coming up. Let's check in with Kurt back in L.A.
Well, the Denver Broncos are unbeaten and carry the #1 defense in the league, and here's one reason why. Chris Harris with a pick 6 of Derek Carr, 74 yards for the score. They've only given up a touchdown all day, and the defense has done everything they could in a 16-7 lead, less than 7 minutes to go.
That's a close one here. It's 42-10 Arizona on top of Detroit. The Cardinals next week are at Pittsburgh. Stanton's pass is high, looking for Stephon Taylor. And 4th down coming up. This is the beginning of 6 road games in the next 9 weeks for Arizona. At Pittsburgh, at Cleveland, at Seattle, at San Francisco, at St. Louis. Drew Butler's punts, fair catch, T.J. Jones. It will be Lions ball when we come back here in the 4th quarter. 7:46 to go here in the 4th quarter. Justin Kutcher alongside Daryl Johnston, Holly Saunders at Ford Field. Dan Orlovsky came in the 3rd quarter for Matthew Stafford. Orlovsky, a high throw through the hands of Brandon Pettigrew. Tyrann Mathieu came over. The Honey Badger.
He's got a couple of other guys out there that are very similar to his skill set. He's got a whole family of Honey Badgers out there. Dayon Buchanan, Tony Jefferson, Rashad Johnson. These guys are unique. You hear the term ball hawk a lot. This is a group that these guys are really, really impressive.
2nd and 10. Orlovsky goes back to Pettigrew, and this time he's able to make the catch. Dayon Buchanan brings him down.
I love their conversation with James Betcher, the defensive coordinator for Arizona. You know, he talked about it. You know, this is not scheme-based. You know, we start our defense based strictly on fundamentals and detail. That's the foundation of this. And Dayon Buchanan is one of the guys that allows him to be multiple. I think some people look at Arizona and see it as a very multiple defense. He says we do the same thing. We just use a lot of different personnel. We give you a lot of different looks, and it's guys like Dayon Buchanan over there on the side who allow him to do that. But he said, make no mistake, we are all about fundamentals. The game is blocking and tackling. It's not about scheme. They're very refreshing to hear.
On 3rd and 3, incomplete over the middle for Pettigrew. And the replacement for Buchanan, Tony Jefferson, was there to break it up.
Everybody in the secondary has a nose for the ball. They're very, very confident in their preparation, their film study, the matchups. You look at an offensive play pre-snap, and it's a formation and a personnel group. You know what's coming out of there. You know where they think their matchups are, what part of the field they want to attack. And this group on the back end really, really trusts themselves to really jump things that they see developing.
Sam Martin on to punt. Britton Golden back to return. Backed up to the 26. And Golden gets tackled at the 33. Let's go down on the field and check in with Holly Saunders.
I want to let all the Cardinals fans know, don't stay up tonight to greet your team. They are not coming home. Their plan is actually to head to West Virginia to the Greenbrier Resort, where they plan to practice this week in preparation for the Pittsburgh Steelers next Sunday. Coach Bruce Arians says the staying in the Eastern time zone is really helpful for his players' rest and their recovery, especially for those players who were bumped or bruised during this game. And they will be using the practice facilities actually constructed for the New Orleans Saints preseason training camp at the Greenbrier. And just another aside, the Greenbrier is home to one of the most famous PGA Tour stops, so you better believe these guys have brought their golf clubs with them, guys. Work hard, play hard.
I was just thinking that, Holly. I knew there was a nice golf course there. I'm sure some of the guys had their clubs shipped, all set to play some golf, and that's what you get after a big victory. Here is the upcoming schedule, week 6 through 10. We mentioned those games on the road, at Pittsburgh, at Cleveland. You get the bye week, and then at Seattle.
Heading out on the road quite a bit. That's why it was so important for them to get off to that good start, why they were so disappointed in the performance at home against St. Louis last week. They know how important it is to get out to that 4-1 start, take advantage of those home games, because they saw that big road grouping that was coming ahead over the next 2 months.
Drew Stanton at quarterback. He got hit hard as he let that one go. Josh Bynes went in and said, hello, Drew Stanton, how are you doing?
Well, if you're going to go deep at 42-10, this is the risk you run. You're going to leave your backup quarterback susceptible to some hits. So see if that has any impact in the play call or the situational style of football that Bruce Arians is going to play here down the stretch. That's the third one we've seen up over the top.
Taking chances, 3rd and 10. Stanton went to high school at Farmington Harrison here in Detroit. Of course, played at Michigan State. A handoff to Taylor. Evan Lawson with the tackle.
But you mentioned, what do we know about Arizona now? You look at that schedule, you know, we're going to find out. But, you know, I think the big message that they sent, and they have sent here through their first 5 weeks, is they're an explosive offense, very, very talented defense. So this is going to be interesting to see how they perform on the road. I'm looking forward to watching Arizona here over the next month.
High, short punts. Takes an Arizona bounce. And this will be down at the 14, a 49-yard punt by Drew Butler. Well, on Monday night, the Lions, everybody knows what happened. The fumble at the goal line by Calvin Johnson. KJ Wright bats it out. And you see that back judge looking right at Wright, and yet he didn't make the call that everyone says he should have made. And let's bring in Mike Pereira from our control center in LA. And Mike, just what has transpired since Monday night? What has been the talk among the officials in the league about what happened?
Well, there's certainly been a lot of discussion about it, and it's about going forward, what you want in the future. And, you know, the league acknowledged the they acknowledged the fact that Greg Wilson, the back judge, that his judgment was that it wasn't an overt act. That usually when you think about batting, there's several guys trying to get it. One guy winds up and knocks the ball. This was just kind of a push out of bounds, and it's not one that you usually see. And Greg Wilson didn't think it was overt enough, but the league acknowledged that it was. But going forward, the league says we want that call, and we also want everybody to recognize, and we're going to talk about that in our own training video at Fox, that there are times when you can bat the ball in the end zone. 2 times specifically. One on a punted ball, a punt that is over the end zone. You can bat it back into the field to play. And then the second one, the philosophy that if the ball's going out of bounds, you can bat it back inbounds from out of bounds into the end zone in order to recover it. So like everything, it's a learning experience that the league has talked about with all 121 officials, and I think they're very clear on what is a foul and what is not a foul now.
Mike, thanks so much. I think it's pretty clear that there were a lot of people, a lot of players who didn't know the rule. And I think it's pretty obvious that now everybody knows that rule. We won't see that happen again.
Well, the big thing was the change of possession going in, and that was the area that I think causes the confusion, because a lot of those are what Mike talked about, the snap over the punter's head, a shotgun snap over the quarterback's head. You haven't changed possession, so you bat it out of the back, and you have that scenario there. There was that change of possession that really kind of threw everybody that you would think knew the rule pretty solidly for a little bit of a curveball there.
3rd and 2 here for the Lions, empty backfield. Orlovsky completes the pass to Riddick, and Riddick has the first down.
And here's the official rule and the wording, and I think one of the things that kind of jumps out, any player that bats or punches a loose ball in the field of play or toward his opponent's end zone, or a loose ball that's in the end zone, you talk to some people, they don't see the word overt in that. It's not included in the rule. So if we just say bats or touches, I think we can clear some of that up. One of the problems I have with the rule book is there's so many shades of gray in it that it gets very, very confusing. That one kind of eliminates that. If you bat it or touch it, it doesn't matter intent. And I think that's what has some people frustrated. And when I talk to people who are working in this arena around the league, one of the things that they ask for is more clarification to get into the black and white rule scenarios. And that's one of them right there that all of a sudden became clouded in gray because somebody puts the word overt in and brings in intent when it's really not in the written rule.
On 2nd down, the pass intended for T.J. Jones. What's pretty remarkable is when you think about this Lions team, and it's a franchise that has had its well-documented struggles, right? They were 0-16. They're going to be 0-5 right now. And you kind of wonder, if you're a Lions fan, people are saying, how many more ways can we lose? And how many more, crazy ways can we lose? You think about the play by Calvin Johnson in the end zone a few years ago. You think about what happened here with the bat of the ball. Tim Wright with the catch, and let's see, that should be for the first down. Tony Jefferson with a tackle. Then, of course, the challenge when you couldn't have a challenge by Jim Schwartz.
Some people even go to the Dallas playoff game last year with the penalty that was picked up.
Yeah.
So it's been a very, very challenging couple of years for the Detroit Lions franchise, and I think that's what has really hurt them, because you bring in Jim Caldwell, you go 11-5, you make the playoffs, you feel like you had one stolen from you in that game down in Dallas, and you're going to come back this year, you're going to take that next step. We're 2 years into our offense. You're looking at a lot of progression, guys being more comfortable in the system, and you start out 0-5. And it is not what anybody thought was going to happen from this Lions team coming into this season. I think a lot of people felt that they would take that next step, that they would be one of the teams that would challenge in the NFC North, and it hasn't been that way.
And it really, obviously you look at the score right now, 42-10, and you're going to say, well, the defense didn't do its job. But the defense early on did do its job. Those early 2 turnovers, and they were able to get stops. And then all of a sudden it just kind of steamrolls. But the upcoming schedule for these Lions, 2 more home games against Chicago and Minnesota, then at Kansas City. They got the bye week, then they're at Green Bay. And And a flag.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 56. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
See, this is one of the plays that's popped up that I'm not a fan of right now. When people jump into the neutral zone and get back, and then we've got an offensive tackle, somebody that's adjacent to that play that points, the defensive player has already reset himself. He's not affecting you anymore. And I'd start calling it on the offensive players in that situation.
2:38 to go here in this fourth quarter. Orlovsky over the middle. Did he hang on to it? Tim Wright. Incomplete.
It's been that kind of day for the Detroit Lions. You got a guy open in the middle of the field. You put it on the back hip and he can't make the catch.
Coming again on the blitz. Orlovsky just throws it out, and there comes a flag.
He is a relentless, skilled blitzer off the edge.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 32. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
I want to see the end of the play because he kind of flushed Dan Orlovsky from the pocket. Going to come in from this direction. Theo Riddick comes over, makes the first contact. You can see the strength against the back. He didn't see a forcible blow to the head there at the end of the play. He is not happy with that call.
So instead it's a first down. The 23. Orlovsky flushed out again, and he gets rid of it just in time as the pressure was coming from Alani Fua. And another flag.
Defensive
There
coordinator.
is no foul for an eligible man downfield. It's an incomplete pass. Second down.
Defensive coordinator James Betcher not backing off with his pressure package here in this situation. Got the little cross blitz. Got one free runner to your quarterback.
Second and 10. Completes the pass. TJ Jones, and he's able to get the first down. With the clock running, let's see if this will take us down to the 2-minute warning.
Well, TJ Jones has stepped up today. He's had some opportunities in the return game, has had some plays at wide receivers, so maybe one of the bright spots for the Detroit Lions today.
One of the bright spots in an otherwise disappointing day for the Lions as they trail 42-10. 2-minute warning. This game summary does a great job of summarizing what has transpired here today. 6 turnovers for the Lions, 28 points in that second quarter by Arizona. Their offense, even in a loss, 24-22, put up some points, and they put up a lot here. Lance Moore gets thrown backwards by Tyrann Mathieu. 6th tackle of the day for Mathieu.
He touched on he might be a little bit more motivated this week. He felt maybe Detroit kind of snubbed him in the draft process coming out of LSU. So he has played well today.
In all fairness, a few teams snubbed him.
Yeah, exactly.
Into the end zone, and there's a touchdown. Lance Moore. And finally, something for these Lions fans who have stuck around to cheer about.
Lance Moore working out of the slot. Presses to the inside, recognizes his quarterback is scrambling left. He's able to elude Tyrann Mathieu in coverage.
First touchdown of the season for Moore. And now Prater on for the extra point. 42-17, 86 yards on 16 plays for the Lions on that scoring drive. Today's game is being produced by Barry Landis and directed by Brian Lilly. The associate director is Joe Williams. The broadcast associate is Paul Marmero. Our technical producer is Sid Drexler, and the technical director is Matt Wilson. Thanks to our statisticians, Ricky Camps and Scott Lightman, and our spotter, Bill Garrity. 1:29 to go here. Carson Palmer and the Cardinals, it's pretty much just a formality to go to 4-1. To put into perspective what this Arizona Cardinals offense is doing, look at where they stand in history in the first 5 games.
I think you see a couple of Super Bowl participants on that list. So again, what Bruce Arians has done a short amount of time in Arizona, and right now, a healthy Carson Palmer. Obviously, we've seen this offense. We showed you the 3 running backs. What those guys are able to accomplish in their own unique roles. That's an element. And defensively, it's been a while since I've seen a team tackle as well as Arizona has tackled in space on some pretty quality athletes here for the Detroit Lions.
Prater. Peterson has to go back. With all those numbers about Arizona, a number for the Detroit Lions, trailing since that second quarter, 70 pass attempts, ties an NFL record set by the Patriots back in 1994. But to go back to what you were saying about Arizona with all the positives, how about the fact that you've also got a Larry Fitzgerald who's now adjusted to playing in that slot? He says he's playing the best football of his career. So now you have Fitzgerald in the slot. You got Floyd, John Brown on the outside. I mean, there are weapons all over now for this Arizona offense.
Yeah, and Carson Palmer was hurt last year, but Carson Palmer took advantage of that situation. Every opportunity he was afforded to be at the facility in meetings, he was there. A lot of guys rehabbing a big injury like that will do their rehab, hit the weight room, and then kind of head out. You don't want to be a part of what's going on because you're not going to play. As the quarterback in the second year of that system, he wanted to make sure he was on point from the playbook perspective. And we talked to him. This is year 3 for me mentally.
Yeah.
You can take away physically and being on the field last year, but I am where I needed to be from a mental perspective in this offense and feel very, very comfortable in what I have to do as quarterback. So that's a testament to Carson Palmer in that situation. You got a quarterback who's committed to the excellence. You got Larry Fitzgerald, who's a great leader. Chris Johnson, playing really, really well in this system. This is going to be a tough team to watch. It's going to be fun. They're good across the board. And you have a bunch of players who love to play for their head coach. That's the thing. The environment that Bruce Arians has created in this organization is something that these players have embraced. They look forward to coming to work. They enjoy the challenge. So it's all good in Arizona right now. It is all good as they move to 4-1 on the season while the Lions fall to 0-5. We'll have more from Ford Fields after this.